Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Great Britain for round 11 of the 2001 Formula One season. Let's get started.
Located just a few kilometres outside of Northampton, the fantastic Silverstone circuit combines two fast straights with an enthralling selection of slow, medium and high-speed turns. Surrounded by the headquarters of the Jordan, Williams, Jaguar, Renault, British American Racing and McLaren teams, this disused airfield in the heart of Formula One's so-called Silicon Valley often plays host to one of the most competitive races of the season.
We jump straight into qualifying, and the first flying lap, we come out of Woodcut to cross the line in 1:28.065. That's quite slow, but there's still time to better it. On the second flying lap, I felt a little bit faster, and I was, because we crossed the line in 1:27.665. Then on my third flying lap, I went just a bit faster, so we complete the lap in 1:26.910 seconds, which unfortunately turned out to be our fastest in the session. See you on the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Great Britain for round 11 of the 2001 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Over 30 degrees and climbing. It's a fantastic day for Formula One. Schumacher first. Montoya consistently outpaced his championship rival. He starts second. Hakkinen third. Coulthard fourth. Schumacher fifth. Raikkonen sixth. Rubens Barrichello seventh. Heidfeld eighth. Frentzen ninth. Eddie Irvine 10th. Button 11th. Verstappen 12th. Trulli 13th. Fisichella 14th. Olivier Panis was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts 15th. Alesi 16th. Fernando Alonso 17th. Luciano Berti 18th. Pedro de la Rosa 19th. The BAR driver 20th. Enrique Bernaldi, 21st. Tarso Marquez, 22nd.
Here we are on the starting grid for the British Grand Prix, a very important race for us, just as it is for most of the teams, since most of the teams have their HQ in or around Silverstone, and we're off to what presumably will be a very tough, very competitive race. Coulthard is already in trouble, and he's holding up a bunch of cars, allowing us to jump most of them. So we went from 20th to 8th in just one corner. That's insane, but we still have cars in front of us, and a very long way to go until the end of the race. As we come through the Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel complex, I tried to challenge Frentzen, but I couldn't quite hold up to him. But we'll need to pass him soon. Our aim is to finish in the points. Anything less will be unacceptable. But here is a replay of the start. As usual, there's a lot of wheel spin coming from me. As we come into this first corner, everyone slows down significantly, allowing us to jump a whole lot of places, and I couldn't be happier about that. As we now come through the Maggots Beckett's Chapel section, where I tried to challenge Frentzen but to no avail. And another replay of the start, this time with the camera focused on Coulthard. He starts off well, but immediately his suspension gives way, slowing down and holding up more than half of the field, which was to our advantage. Unfortunately for him, he had to retire, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be very happy about that, nor will the team. But as we are coming into Stowe, I once again tried to pass Frentzen. However, he outbroke me, but as we were coming out of Stowe, we were once again closing the gap. Now we are coming into Club, and I'm just a bit too far to try to make a move. But he parks his car on the apex, we almost crash into him. Raikkonen got in front of us, and now Irvine is having a look on the outside. We are wheel to wheel with our former teammate, and now coming down into Abbey, who will win the drag race. It seems that the Honda-powered VAR prevails, but Irvine has another look on the outside as we come out of the corner. He just won't give up. Well, now he did. I guess he's a bit better because we beat him in the championship last season, and then we left the team. Oh well, he'll have to get over it. And the first lap of the British Grand Prix is almost finished. Ooh, I take a bit too much of the curb. Luckily, this is a slow speed corner and I have time to react. That could have been disastrous were it anywhere else on the track. So, coming around to finish the lap, we are currently in ninth place. We had a very intense first lap, especially the second half of the lap when we were battling Irvine. But now it's time to push and try to get up into the points, as Raikkonen cuts the track there for absolutely no reason. So let's see if we can capitalize on that. No, we cannot, as I run wide and lose any advantage I might have had on him. But we are now in his slipstream and closing in fast, so let's see if we can outbrake him into stow. There is no need for that since we fly right past him before the braking zone. So we are now 8th. We now cut to the end of lap 2 where I managed to catch back up to Frentzen and Barrichello. I go on the outside of Frentzen through this right-hander and pass him. Next would be Barrichello. So let's see if we can get a good run on him. And for some reason he's very slow through this fast right-hand kink. So we blaze right past him as well. And that means that we are now in the points. But I won't settle for that. I want a podium at our team's home Grand Prix. Maybe even the top of the podium. Who knows? We've just started lap 3 and I was having a great deal of trouble catching up to Heidfeld, let alone pass him. But I was just informed that Luciano Berti was having issues with his car. And here is the Prost of Luciano Berti with De La Rosa and Marquez behind him. His car starts to let out smoke as De La Rosa is looking for an opening. They are coming around the track to start a new lap, but Bertie pulls to the side to retire. Sad day for him, I guess. So yeah, the retirements are slowly mounting. Just 2 at the moment, but there might be more. Hopefully someone in front of me, just to make it a bit easier. However, I am liking the challenge we have at the moment. It seems like whenever I try to go faster, Nick Heidfeld responds by going even faster, and I like that. But later on, people started to pit, and right now Hakkinen was in, so we gain a position. We are now in 5th as I mess up that corner completely. And looking at the LCD display, it seems like Heidfeld overtook Ralf Schumacher at some point, so I'm now chasing after him. It's still not going to be easy to catch up though. On lap 10 I had to pit for fuel and tires. I was still in 5th, didn't quite manage to close in on Ralf Schumacher. But now I will be overtaken by Hakkinen and Montoya and maybe a few more. I hope that we get through this quickly so we can rejoin the race. I really want to finish in a podium position. That's a 9.8 second stop, not bad compared to the 11 and 12 second stops we had lately. There goes Heidfeld, who I managed to overtake in the pits, but now he's come around. So let's see if we can catch back up and maybe try to overtake some cars. Again, a podium finish is our goal for the race. On lap 12 we catch up to Ralf Schumacher and there's smoke coming out of the rear of his car. So we have to get around him as soon as possible. We don't want to be behind him if he suddenly stops. His car should have a performance hit, so it should be relatively easy to pass him. However, he's still pushing hard, but we should be able to take him through club. Actually, he backs out before we even get to the turn. That's nice, and we are now back in P6, and chasing after Nick Heidfeld once again. Come on, little Honda, don't disappoint. Coming around to finish lap 13, our engineer finally notices that Ralf Schumacher is in trouble, and Nick Heidfeld peels off into the pits once more. That's perfect. So we are now in 5th once again. Next is Michael Schumacher, but I don't really think we can catch him. Anyway, here's a replay of his brother Ralf Schumacher. He's coming around to finish the lap, along with Raikkonen behind him and Tarso Marquez, who he almost laps. However, his car starts letting out smoke. Well, it was letting out smoke for the majority of the lap, but this time the engine had enough and Ralf Schumacher will retire. So now we have Michael Schumacher in front of us and Kimi Raikkonen behind us. I know I cannot catch the German, but I can at least try to keep the Finn behind. It's going to be a very difficult final few laps, and it looks like Hakkinen is preparing to pit again. This might work to our advantage. Yes, Hakkinen is in the pits, so is Rubens Barrichello and Juan Pablo Montoya. We are now in second position. This is amazing. We only have 6 more laps to go, so this might just work. It would be so amazing if we could take second place at our home Grand Prix. It would be even better if we could win, but there's no way that will happen today. A little over 2 laps left of this race and I go very wide through this left-hander and we lose second place to Mika Hakkinen. No, this can't be. Let's try to get it back. Unfortunately, I applied too much power and go wide again. Now second place is well and truly lost, and Montoya is now right up on my gearbox. We need to try and stay in third until the end. We must. Coming around once again, a little over 1 lap left, Montoya is closing in and the pressure is mounting. And once again I make the same mistake I did just 1 lap ago. I apply a bit too much power on the corner exit, causing me to go wide, and now Montoya is on my gearbox. This is going to be a very tense final lap. I have to make sure I don't make any more mistakes. I really have to. Now, coming around through the final few corners of this race, Schumacher wins the race, Hakkinen is second, and Montoya is right on top of me. And I go wide again. This is going to be a tight dash to the finish line. Coming through the pass kink, flick the car to the right, give the team a wave, and we only just make it. Those probably were the most intense final few laps of my entire life, as I weave my car in triumph. Man, that was tough. I don't usually do this, but I wanted to show you just how close that was. Coming through the tight left-hander, then into left field, the long right-hander. You can see Montoya right on top of our car. I managed to pull away slightly, but I went wide, allowing Montoya to close back in on us. Now, coming through the fast right-hander, I somehow managed to get more power out of my Honda engine than Montoya out of his BMW, but that was very, very close. It could have gone either way. Let me tell you this, guys, that was a very tough race. I didn't think I could do it, and in fact, if the race was any longer, I'm pretty sure I would have lost out to Montoya. Luckily, it ended when it did. Now I can hardly wait to taste that champagne. I'm so thirsty right now. Anyway, let's see how the standings look after this race.
Well, that's the end of a fantastic British Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Michael Schumacher first. Hakkinen second. The BAR driver third. Montoya fourth. Rubens Barrichello fifth. Heidfeld sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship.
Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard now share the lead of the Drivers' Championship with 56 points. Mika Hakkinen is in second with 29 points. We share third with Montoya with 26 points. Fourth is held by Heidfeld with 18 points. Ralf Schumacher is fifth with 17 points. Irvine and Barrichello are sixth with 13 points. Kimi Raikkonen is seventh with 10 points. Button, Verstappen and Frentzen share eighth with 4 points.
McLaren stay ahead in the Constructors' Championship, despite having their lead reduced by this result. Ferrari are second, whilst third place is held by Williams.
McLaren still lead the Constructors' Championship with 85 points. Ferrari are second with 69 points. Third are Williams with 43 points. Sauber are fourth with 28 points. Our team is fifth with 26 points. Sixth are Jaguar with 13 points. And finally in seventh we have Benetton, Arrows and Jordan with 4 points. Well, although we lost second place in the final 2 laps of the race, which is a bit disappointing, third place is still a good spot to finish a race in. After all, 4 points is better than no points. And trust me when I say this was not an easy task. I found it quite hard to gain any ground on the front runners. And the main reason we finished where we did is because most of the front runners went for a 2-stop strategy as opposed to our 1-stop strategy, which seemed to work better. Overall, I had great fun in this race, lots of tense moments, especially in the opening and closing stages of the race. This absolutely makes up for that horrible race in France we had a few days ago. But we must move on, and for the next race we will be returning to mainland Europe for the German Grand Prix. So make sure to join me there. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.